Hello, hello. Going live with a little live draw today, and I'm going to be drawing Cat Dad and SuperMom. It's a book by Rob Anderson, and I think Chuck Pino works on that, and we're looking forward to just kind of messing around with that. Going to see what it would look like if it was in the hybrid universe. But as always, I do want to throw up some branding. All right. So without any further ado, we're going to get going. Hi, Ronald. How's it going today? So I will try to put up some comments on the screen, or if anybody wants to pop in, you have the StreamYard link. You can pop in and we can just chat and talk about comics and things like that. Yeah. So let you know a little bit about how I do this. I do work with Photoshop, and I've got a camera set up so you can kind of see the screen. It's not ideal. I haven't got all of my setup yet. But then you've also got on the other side of the screen, you can see my screen is actually being shared. So I draw with Photoshop. I'm going to be trying a different software soon. I think I'm going to try Clip Studio. A lot of people tell me to try it, and I think it looks pretty cool. So I might give it a shot, and I might switch over. I don't know. So if you guys think that that's a good idea, maybe you can pop in the comments and let me know about whether or not you think that's a good idea. And so I'm drawing with that. And so I've got my, it comes with a pen, and I'm using an XP pen tablet. I don't have the big guns yet, so we'll work on that. But what I am doing, so I'm grabbing my phone and I am looking up CatDad and SuperMom because I am going to need references. So I'm going to go to Rob's page there. And I know he's got some pictures of CatDad and SuperMom on there. So we are going to go, let's go right into the campaign. Just so that you guys know, you can't really see my screen. That's not very good. But if Rob pops in, then we are going to, maybe he can pop in the comments. And I think he already has his link to his Kickstarter. I'm just looking through the comments to see if he's done that already. He's got CatDad and SuperMom.com up there, but you don't see him that he's posted that in there yet. So maybe he can do that, or I'll try to find it and do that. So I'm just pulling up some pictures of CatDad and SuperMom so I can get a couple of references, just so I know what I'm doing here. They're a pretty fun couple of characters, and so here I got a couple things. So let me just go ahead and get my pencil going, and I'm going to try to do something fairly action-packed. I'm just going to do some rough marks here based on some roughs that I did earlier, trying to figure out what kind of a pose Rob might want for CatDad and SuperMom. And I'm going to maybe not go as cartoony as they normally do, only because I don't think that I can do it as well as his artist does, because it's not really my thing. But I'm going to make it look more like what this would look like in the hybrid universe. So just for grins and giggles. And now, as usual, I do make this available, like I make these available for sale. So I work digital, but I do a thing that I learned from a fellow artist who works digital as well, that what I can do is I actually print these off a one-time on artboard, and then I write one of one and sign my signature. So it's a kind of the original, and it serves as my original. So I sell that as original art. So I will be printing this off and doing that with this particular piece of art, and I'm going to be shipping it to Rob so that he can do with it as he wants. So I normally would sell these. And so I'm not going to sell it, but Rob is. So he can either keep it for himself, or he can auction it off or whatever he wants to do. It is going to be his to work with. So, but at any point, if you guys have any questions, just feel free to ask, and I'll try to do that. Hey, Ted's here. Nice to see you, Ted. Ted just did a really great variant cover, an artist edition cover for Hybrids #5, and we are doing some people missed out on that in the Kickstarter, and so we're doing some last-minute pre-orders for that. So what I like about CatDad is his massive beard. I think I'm going to give him a little scowl. Okay. SuperMom has a cape. I don't normally draw a cape, so this is fun. I've not drawn a cape in a while. All right, so that's pretty good rough, I think. That's going to give me in the right direction that I want to go. So I do these roughs like that. And then I just get a blue line. So I blue line that, and then I'm going to zoom in and start working. So I'm looking at CatDad first, and he's going to have a little bit of a Batman feel here, I think. Also did something for Red Talon the other day. The cover, so it's almost going to have a little Red Talon feel as well. Get those ears up there. I do this thing where I like to rotate my canvas as well. So he has a curly beard, so I think I'm going to try to do... I'm not real good with the curly beard stuff, but I'm going to try to... I'm just going to make it a big, massive beard here. Some more roughs in there. Just get the idea. This is just going to be kind of a fun take. It's not going to be near as cartoony as what it normally is, which I love. I love the style of this book. I love what the book is about. Ted, you're welcome. Thank you for being a part of that that project. But yeah, so this is a good project, a very great book. I suggest that if you have not checked it out, that you need to. Some really fine work. It's not just for kids. I think adults can get entertainment from it as well, because I've read it and I laughed. I thought it was fun. And so I think that you will enjoy it as well. If you do have a young reader, someone that you would like to get into comics, this is going to be an opportunity for you to do that as well. It's a very good project. It's anti-bullying. And CatDad and SuperMom are kind of some cool characters. Get the hand. So yeah, just rough in a whole bunch there. So my process is I do this kind of a lot. I do a lot of kind of roughing in the shapes that I want with a bunch of sketches, and then I just start to refine it. I just try to tighten it up kind of with each pass until I've got something that I am happy with. And so kind of the big shape for the fingers. There's CatDad. Let's throw in some SuperMom. Let's take a look at a reference for SuperMom so we can get her going. You can see I'm picking this picture right here. So it reminds me of the Fairly Odd Parents. I don't know if that was the intent, Rob, but that is definitely the feel that I get from this, and I love it. Cody Johnson. Hey, Cody, how's it going, man? Good to see you today. And just doing a little live draw of CatDad and SuperMom. I don't know if you've checked that out yet, dude, but you definitely need to check it out. Just getting a little hair going. These characters are going to look really intense with me drawing them. In my world, women have muscles, so we're going to put a little bit of muscle on SuperMom. Rough that hand in there. She's got these cool gloves, so we will go ahead and throw those gloves in there just for reference. I try to do these things within an hour to 2 hours as best that I can. So I try my best to get them done quickly. So that's why I kind of try to work a little quick here, just so that I'm not keeping you guys forever, because, you know, I don't want to keep you guys for a long time. Okay, so in this pose, you can't really see her boots, so we're not going to focus on that. And then he's got a cat on his chest. So we're going to use that there. And if I have time, I'm going to color them for him as well. All right, so let's take a look there. And I want to put some of the fart gases around here. If you're wondering why I'm saying fart gases, you just need to go check out the campaign, and you will learn why I'm saying fart gases, because it's a big part of the story and it's awesome. Let's do another one of these. Okay, let's tighten these pencils. I'm going to start with old CatDad here because it's kind of fun. I think this is going to be fun. this book is so fun. The way it's drawn, the just kind of the whole essence of the whole book. It's really, really good. And like I said, I've said it once. We've been doing this now for 15 minutes, and you're going to hear me say it a few more times. If you have not backed this project, you definitely need to go back this project. It is definitely worth the money that you're going to put into it. I'm not sure where the project stands right now as far as how much is brought in, but I'm not going to rest until I see this project bring in over $1,000. It is worth it. It is worth every penny that you will spend and that people will pledge. It is a great book. I have had the pleasure of being able to see an early edition of this, like before. Rob had given me one. I could do a review, but I don't think that the review would do it justice. So I decided I wanted to do a quick draw, or not a quick draw. This isn't quick. This is a live draw. It's intense. Martin, what version of Photoshop is this? This is CC 2020. But as I said earlier, I'm thinking about several people have said that they really like Clip Studio, and so I might try switching over. You know, I'm not happy with that mouth, so I'm going to erase it. That's what I want. So the goal here is today to get a pencil and an ink done. So we may skip some parts of the pencil just to get the inks in. I think Rob is doing Kickstarter Pause at 2 o'clock today. Maybe he might be doing it at 1. So his show might be going on the same time that this is going on. Martin, I am using an XP pen. It is the 15.6 Artist Pro. And so I'll just give you a little better shot of some of this. So it's got the wheel on there, and then I've marked some of my hotkeys. I'm getting ready to get another hotkey thing because I just moved my laptop over to the side, so I was tired of reaching over. It was killing my back. And so I will be getting that and set up here hopefully next week. So that I can work a little faster, a little more efficiently in this position. So it is a beautiful day out here in Florida. It's gorgeous. What's the weather like where you guys are? Tito, thank you. I'm glad you like it. Be sure to go check out the CatDad and SuperMom Kickstarter that is going right now. Go to Kickstarter and search it. I do not have it in the comments. If anyone can look that up and throw that in the comments while I am drawing, I would appreciate that because that'll keep me working. I want to I'm just gonna guess that this is supposed to be Rob Anderson. And I don't know that if he did that or not. Like one of those kind of created the character. I know that Jax is based off of his son. Jax, if you've ever watched any of the on-con things or any of his shows, sometimes you will get a chance to hear Jax. And Jax is a great kid. Just a cute dude. I don't know that I like that arm, but yeah, because that bicep really wouldn't come out like that. That's all. We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out as we go. So then I like to zoom out a little bit. My hand's kind of big. Just don't know if I'm happy with that. Just kind of get me some references in there so I can do that right. Thank you very much, Martin, for sharing that. So thanks, Eric Hawkins and Martin. Appreciate you guys very much. But yeah, definitely Martin just posted that link in there. So go check out CatDad and SuperMom. It is a great book, guys. I fully endorse it. I would say if you're only going to draw one book, if you're only going to read one book this year, I would like it to be hybrids, but I would hope that you would read two books, that it would be hybrids and this book. That would be my goal. I sometimes get kind of caught up in drawing and I forget to talk to you guys. I don't normally commentate while I draw. Oh, hold on a second. Let me bring in somebody. I got focused like for a second here. Let me bring in this guy. Rob, how's it going, dude?
What's going on, buddy?
Oh, you know, it's going.
I saw it.
So,
it looks pretty cool.
What's that?
I said I see it. It looks really cool.
Yeah. So, doing a little, I'm just kind of reimagining the characters. So everybody, this is Rob. Rob is the guy I've been talking up on this project here. Like I said, Rob does this CatDad and SuperMom, and it is a fantastic project. I'm not going to be happy, Rob, until I see this thing make $1,000.
Yeah, that's where I'm at right now. It's my goal. And people should know this isn't about trying to have a cash grab. It's actually because we want to start production on issue 2.
Yeah.
And that's going to help us. It's about getting printer work because our local printer is scrounging, I should say, to get work because right now there is no work. A lot of creators aren't necessarily printing because they're all intimidated by the current climate. Comic book creators seem to be doing good, but I meant content creators in the local area that run businesses, you know?
Yeah.
So we're trying to get them more work, and, you know, we're always happy to advocate for anti-bullying. And right now, a lot of us, I mean, I know this isn't new to Luke, but for me, this is something brand new to be a teacher at home. You know, I've always taught my son. I raised him. I taught him a lot of life skills, but I never knew him to be a teacher. He's actually noticing the characters now, and he's watching you.
That's cool.
Yeah, here, I'll show you off. I actually had it on the camera off because I was leaning and doing some schoolwork, and he saw the cat dad and he came running over.
Oh!
He apparently
Does Jax approve? That's the question. If Jax approves, then we're happy.
He seems to like it. He seems to like the more aggressive look, the cat dad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, you know, what's the name of your artist? He's amazing.
All right, he'll most it.
Yeah. See, I wasn't gonna try to copy what he's done or what other people have done because that would just not be, I wouldn't be able to do it as well as they do. So I just decided to do.
Coming in 2021 from Luke Stone and Rob Anderson, Cat Dad After Dark.
Yeah, yeah. Look at him, dude. He's epic.
Yeah, he really is. Like I'm already writing stories in my mind. Like during the day, he's imaginary. At night, he's real to the city.
Yeah. We can do live action, but you got to play him. I can just stick some glasses on there.
Yeah, I'm telling you, like instead of a plane, like a cat, what would a cat have? It wouldn't be a plane, it'd be like a helicopter because it'd have the ball of string that comes out of it. So you could propel down like yarn would come out of it and they propel down on yarn.
Yeah. I'm trying to make I like to put muscles on my women in my comic books.
Oh, I dig that. You know I've said that. I think muscular women are sexy.
Yeah. So we're giving SuperMom some.
Not She-Hulk. Not current
She-Hulk. No, not current. The old school She-Hulk.
Yeah.
So I'm just trying to give a little. Here we go. Okay, I think I'm good to start inks then, so we can get that done. Try to get this done quickly. Now, I was telling them, and I'm going to tell you, I'm just going to send you. So what I do for my originals is I print them off and I number them 1 of 1 and then sign them. So that sells as my original. And I do that a lot. I learned that from another digital artist. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to print this off, do the 1 of 1, sign it, and I'm going to mail it to you. Okay. So you're going to have the original art for it. You can do with it whatever you want. You can keep it or you can sell it. You can use it as a perk for the Kickstarter, and it is totally yours. Normally I sell these from these live draws, but today I want it all to go to support your Kickstarter.
Well, I will say this. I hope that you actually, the way this is looking, I hope you print it and sell at your table in the future.
Oh, this will be a poster, yeah.
Yeah, because that looks amazing.
Well, let's start with Cat Dad, because man, I'm like really digging this vibe. He's
definitely got a Luke Stone beard.
Yeah, I couldn't quite do the curly beard as well, so I was like, well, I'm just gonna give him I draw beards all the time.
I think it's badass. I think you really got the eyes beautifully done. Like the way he looks in the cowl is very determined.
Yeah. He's a cool character, dude. I mean, that's what a lot of people. Yeah, it's cartoony, but in a good way. And it's got a good message. It's got some morals in it. It's got farts. It's got elephant. Elephart. Is that how you say it? Elephart?
Elephart, yeah, like Ellen. Because that's what I thought when we were naming it. I was like, what if Ellen, like someone with that energy? So it became Elephart. Because I wanted her to be a zany, like really, because she's the one who gets bullied in the story. So I really wanted her to be someone that you were like, why would you bully someone who's trying to bring light to the world?
Yeah. She's a cool character. I like her. I was going to draw her, but I see so many other people just kind of drawing her in with the stuff, and I wanted to do something a little bit different from what other people have done so far for you.
I'll tell you this, Luke. I mean, I'm just spitballing here, but at 1,000, we probably need another stretch goal. And I know there's some backers who would like a more adult cover. I'm just saying, Luke.
Feel free to use this, man. It's yours to do with whatever you want.
Well, I mean,
if you want a different cover, I'm happy to draw another one for you.
Hey, relax. I think this one's really cool. Well, I mean, we'll see how it turns out. But if we made this a cover, it'd be something you could also sell at your table.
Yeah.
And of course, that would be when I'm not around. Because when I'm around, you couldn't sell it because I've already sold it.
Yeah, you've already got them sold on it. I mean, then how are we going to have a contest on who can sell the most, right?
We'll be trying to see who can sell this one too. That'll definitely.
Yeah.
For those listening, I'm very competitive, but I always want my friends to be successful. I won't shortcut them. I'll never talk badly about them, and I'll always pass someone to their table. But I do try very hard to get out there and get people behind my books and be energetic as I can. And Luke was at a show where he trounced me, and I'm not used to getting trounced.
No, yeah.
I mean, I still say, I had a pretty bad. Hey, Jax, I had a pretty bad throat injury, so that might have had something to do with it, Luke.
It might have had something to do with it, but
you're lucky. There's
C19.
You're lucky.
Yeah.
But there was
you definitely get more cons. You definitely get more cons in than I do in a year.
Oh, it only counts when we're together. Like, I can't use it overall because, like you said, you do your thing on the weekend with the church, and usually you do something on Saturdays too, right? You were telling me.
Saturdays can get quite busy for me as well. Yeah.
Yeah. So like our Comic Cons are structured around weekends, which we might even see. I've even seen people say that there might be weekday cons now deliberately geared towards people who would have to take a day off and not take a whole weekend. Like a show might be a 3-day show in the middle of the week to try to keep people down. Putting it in like you wouldn't have random people just showing up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's a weird world we're about to hit.
Yeah. I think a big part, like a lot of people think they know what is going on. They think they've got some kind of clue. And the sad part is none of us know anything. All we can do is guess on how things might be or what the new normal or what post-COVID might look like for us.
Yeah. Yeah.
I hope it to be as normal as possible.
I agree with you on that. And I think, like you said, we got to leave it for the experts to do their work and let them tell us about things and stop letting people on Facebook deliver our news.
Yeah. These guys don't. Most of these people that are talking on Facebook, they're talking out their rear like Elefart does and some of the. See the segue there? I tied that in for you.
I like the fact that you put tied in.
Yeah. But yeah, some of these people, they're just talking out, out the side of their face. They have no idea what they're talking about.
Do you want me to read you some of the comments to help you?
Yeah, that'd be great because I can't keep up with all of them while I'm looking at the screen here.
Yeah, but I actually can since I'm sitting here. And I'm going to show this off in a minute on my thing, so I got to find your stream. As you can hear, I'm a teacher and doing this right now.
Yeah.
Welcome to the new world of C19. All right, so we got Ted Davies says, "Hey, what's up, Luke?" Ted Davies says, "Thanks again, probably for the cover you guys did. For those who don't know, you guys had a cover, or he does, for your book, Hybrids."
Yes. Yeah. It turned out really good. I'm really happy with it. It is not anything, and here's the cool part about this community. It's not anything that I would have thought, hey, it looks like this. But Ted and I met through Brian K. Morris's show. And I was like, and so after we had talked a little bit, he had offered to work on a cover. And it just turned out really nice. I was really happy with how that turned out. And so we've got a special artist edition cover that anyone who backed the physical the physical issue 5 or greater for Hybrids actually got a copy of that. But I've had so many people that have now seen it that want it. We're actually doing some additional orders of that. So if anyone is interested, just message me and we can get you copies of that particular cover.
And that's the best part of creators, when creators actually get out of their own way and work together for the love of comics and just for actually wanting to be part of something. Stop being dramatic. So
spending a lot of time on that beard.
And Ted really made an interesting cover for you. Definitely a little different, and it came out nice. I think it really was something that might excite the fans, and that's always a good thing. Cody says, Cody Johnson says, "Hey, Luke."
What's up, Cody? Cody does a great show called the Comics Chat Authority, I think is the name of it. And Cody's quite interesting. He's a very entertaining personality on that show. And he has done a review of Hybrids for me. And I know that he's done a review of Broke Down and 4 Dead Bodies. Has he done a review of CatDad and SuperMom yet?
He has not, actually.
Cody, get with it, dude. You gotta get on this one.
And Martin Piero asked us, I always say his name wrong, Piero.
Yeah.
He asked what version of Photoshop, but I can read it for you. It's Adobe Photoshop 2020. I'm assuming you use the app version. You get it directly from the subscription service now?
Yeah, that's what I do.
Yeah. Because everything about it's what I have right now.
Yeah. Now I'm thinking about looking into Clip Studio. A lot of people are using that, and they're telling me that they like it, and so I might actually give it a shot. I feel like Photoshop crashes occasionally, and I don't like it.
I'll give Photoshop credit, though. I don't know about your end, but it actually opens up where the file was if you let it.
It does, yeah.
So, as long as you have the auto save on, don't pull hair. Stop.
I definitely have the auto save on.
All right. We have also Martin says, what type of tablet are you using? So he notices you're on a tablet, so he wants to know what you're using.
Yeah, I'm using the XP Pen 15.6 Artist Pro. Really happy with it. Got it on sale during the holidays and have been very pleased with its performance.
Sorry, Jax just needed me.
You're fine.
He's at that age where he thinks pulling your beard is a way to get attention.
Oh, yeah.
It's actually why I don't generally grow in a longer beard anymore, because I'll pull it if I'm not paying attention to him. Tito Sylvester Chickeny, I'm sorry if I'm saying your name wrong. My bad. Says this is so cool. What tablet are you using? Same question to design this CatDad character. And you just answered that, so
yeah,
we're pretty good there. Eric Hawkins says, looking good. Martin, thank you for the hookup. He dropped in a link for the actual award-winning CatDad and SuperMom.
Award-winning,
man. And that blew me away. Remember, it was up against adult titles, like not adult, like adult.
Yeah, but like grown-up stuff, like
things you would expect for a wider audience, because that's the whole big thing about this has been, and you know this in the past, it's been hard to sell until people read it. When people read it, they're like, "Oh God, this isn't what I expected," you know?
Yeah, because I mean, it comes across. I mean, it looks like a kid's book. And it's very much a kid can read this. So you can, by all means, if you have a young reader, get them reading this. But it is not exclusively for children.
You wanted this one. Yeah, it's really not. This is about having an opportunity to enjoy a story. And that's, I think with any story you make, you should never have necessarily a market, but a story. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, you can make the choice. I'm sure with hybrids, you have to make that decision. Well, this would be a really good moment for an F-bomb, but do I want to cross that line?
Yeah.
You know, and with me, I mean, there's a joke I wanted to write, and in this first issue, and Ella Fart's kind of taunting people because she's angry about being bullied, and she's taunted a lot of people. So when CatDad shows up, I wanted to have the line, stop hiding in the corner, you little pussy. And it meant the pussy cat, you know, because of the cat. And
yeah.
Chuck told me it was playing too hard because that could have been taken the wrong way.
Yeah.
And I wanted the double entendre, to be honest with you, but he said it's like, this just knocks you out of all ages. This one joke, is it really worth it for one joke? And I was like, nope. Because, you know, it goes from a PG to a PG-13, and then I can't get it into libraries. I can't get into schools. And I would like to give some of these books to charity, and I'd like to get them to school, to hospitals with sick kids. And that's also what's great about Kickstarter is it helps us as creators be able to start entertaining those ideas and making them happen.
Yeah.
And
you're probably going to hear my dog bark because FedEx is outside, and she hates UPS and FedEx with a passion.
There's heat from way back.
Yes.
Ted Davies says, "Looks great, Luke." Eric Hawkins says, "It looks just like Rob." Ha ha ha.
It kind of does.
Well, I mean, the character's based on me, so it kind of should. I mean, that just shows the good artist that Luke is. being able to, and I'm pretty sure people that I've been a manager have seen that look on my face before. I'm sure my son saw it, and I know that face. What did I do wrong? As he's over there going crazy. Eric Hawkins says Clip Studio is pretty good. I haven't transferred all my workflow over to it, but I do use it for lettering.
Okay. I use Photoshop for just about everything, so I'm willing to try something new.
I'll be honest with you, Luke. Illustrator works so much better with lettering. As a heads up.
Yeah, I can't stand Illustrator.
I don't like most of it. Like most of it is just a pain. But for lettering, it is really awesome. I mean, with the new program, though, because they integrated a lot of stuff in 2020 from Illustrator to Photoshop, they're almost neck and neck now.
Yeah, I like lettering in Photoshop.
Yeah, I mean, a few years ago, there was just a trask difference. But I'll be honest with you, especially now that you can do multi-layered stuff within one file. You used to have to be able to go back out, copy and paste, and replay with it, and then layer them on top of each other to get different effects with the strokes and the different bevels and the shadows. You don't have to do that anymore. You can do it all in one simple click.
No.
So I give a lot of credit to them. One more thing, and you're all done. This kid, he knows he's cute, so he tries the cute button as much as he can. But then you hear him growling in the background. He's already talking back. I don't want to do it. Kid, no one wants to do schoolwork. That's why it's called schoolwork.
Ow!
So as much as I try to get these things done in an hour, I think this is going to be a 2-hour draw. Just one of those things. Normally when I get to the inks, I start to slow down a little bit because I really try to render out some of this stuff so it looks cool, especially if something's going to be a cover or something like that.
There you go, buddy. You're welcome. Are you into the coloring yet, or are you still a little shy about that?
Oh no, I color for other people. Most of the covers that I've done for hybrids, I've colored probably not most, but several of those. I colored all of the Serafina book that I just did for the Kickstarter. So yeah, I do some coloring. It's not my favorite. It's I find it tedious and boring.
Ted Davies says, "Love the claws, bro."
Thank you. These claws are fun. I thought, since we're, kind of making it more superhero looking, thought maybe I would give a shot at making the claws a little more intimidating.
That makes sense. Let's see. I will say that when it comes to art styles, you have really begun to develop your own. Like instantly when I came on the stream, I was like, that's Luke's art. Like I can pull out your art from other things. Who are your inspirations when you were doing this?
I've got a couple actually, and I appreciate you noticing that because it's something I've really tried to work at is to develop my own style that is recognizably mine. I like some of the realistic styles that people do, but it's just who did that? It's one of those things. So I've always drawn inspiration from a guy named Mike Zeck, an amazing artist who did some work for Marvel, and I think he also did some work for DC. But one of my favorite runs of comics of all time was this one book called Secret Wars, and it was back in the 80s, and I just loved Mike's work. And I got a hold of that at a very early age. And so I tried to draw a lot like him. And so his work has inspired me. Jack Kirby has inspired me with kind of his kind of blocky hands and stuff like that. I like the way he always did hands. Some people don't. You either love him or you hate him. But I'm in the camp I love him. And so he has inspired my work and probably will continue to inspire my work for the foreseeable future. I have always liked Todd McFarlane with some of his rendering, but I don't tend to see any of that in my style when I draw, though. But yeah, I always kind of wanted to be my own artist and make it very recognizable.
Now, as an artist and a writer at the same time, do you ever stop and think, well, you know what I really want to do? I want to do this shot and I want to do it just this way. So, as a writer, does that play into your description? Do you give yourself almost your own notes to remind yourself of a curvature, or maybe like even little notes to yourself about a certain movement or pose?
That's a very good question, Rob. I do actually. And what I'll do is I will try to set up a shot in great detail, visually, like with words, like to what I want to see visually, and so I'll set that up for myself, and I try to make it to where it's not easy to do. Like I try to challenge myself with the art I'm going to draw. So.
I'm watching this and I'm actually like just blown away by watching art come to life. Yay! Yes, I have a little terrorist behind me going crazy.
Man, that's awesome.
One of the things I did want to ask you is right now, who are the artists that you're a fan of? Because I always found that interesting to find out, like as writers, like when you talk about someone who's a writer that you're a fan of, that says a lot. Because you know how to write. So when you know how to make art, you kind of have to look at things differently, I think, than someone who doesn't actually know how to draw. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
You're looking at details that we might not be looking for.
Yeah. I don't really know off the top of my head. I haven't been looking at a lot of the big two guys lately. I've always pretty much anything that this guy named Stan, I think it's Yak is how you say the last name. Pretty much anything Stan does, I like to look at that stuff. I really like his line work. I just feel like it's really kind of dynamic. Some of the big guys, there's this guy named Christian. I think it's Deuce is his last name, but he did Batman and Flash recently, and I really like his work. It's a little more realistic. It's got a lot of detail to it, and I'm almost overwhelmed by the amount of detail that he puts into it. That's really kind of the people that I look at for their art right now. Most comics that I buy, it really has nothing to do with the art, to be honest, because I know the art is so subjective. So even if it's not something that I would particularly care for, I still will read it, but it's all about the story for me.
Ken Keller says, CatDad looks awesome.
What's up, Ken?
And Ted Davies says, looks so good, Luke.
Thanks, Ted. Yeah. I'm really trying to focus more on kind of showcasing my pencils and inks and stuff, because I just want to get better. I want to get better at it.
I think you're doing a great job, and I'm not even saying that because what you're doing. I've said this when we sat down, and it was at Infinity, right?
Yeah.
And looking at the progression of your art, you could tell you're someone who started at a point and took it very serious and did the homework and did all the work it took to improve your craft to the point where I think you're more comfortable, and it shows in your art now more than ever.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
Yeah, I've learned a little bit. So, I thought I knew what I was doing before. And here's the problem: when you start out as a new creator or artist or anything, family, God bless them, they love you. And they do everything they can to support you and encourage you. But sometimes their encouragement leads you kind of the wrong direction, because they look at what you do through blinders. And so I got a lot of people like, oh, yeah, you're as good as any artist that's ever been out there. And, I appreciate that, but I wasn't. And so I've had to step back and realistically look at my abilities. And so I try to price my work accordingly. I try to just be realistic about kind of where I'm at in my journey and my career, and not, just not be fooled, just because it might be, like, so some of my family, or, you friends, this happens. yeah, it's the best thing you've ever seen drawn. Because not the average person is drawing this stuff, but it doesn't match up to what the competition is out there. And so that's once I kind of started to really focus on that, I was able to, I think, to take real strides in growth, taking some real criticism.
And criticism will make everyone grow more than you realize. I mean, yeah, there are people. I mean, I had someone who recently we successfully funded this campaign. They've had trouble with that. And they were talking to me, and they were like, "Oh, you did a good job. This is pretty. You're doing good on the Kickstarter." I really didn't like how you set up the Kickstarter at first, but you're doing good now. And it's like, that kind of criticism. It's like, am I doing good or am I not?
Yeah, that's not really criticism. That's just someone being a critic.
Yeah. You do have to understand the difference, but the end result was he was giving me praise. So you have to hear it for what it is. Don't get sensitive. Laugh off the other part. It's like, okay, you didn't like what I started off doing, but am I where I am supposed to be? Yeah, good. Cool. And Luke will tell you I'm critical about things and I speak my mind. I don't hold my tongue.
No, you don't. But that's what I like about you, Rob.
And he don't.
I like to hear the honest truth about things. I don't want someone to sugarcoat things or to placate or to pander to me or things like that. I want to know. It's like, is the work good? Do you like it? How can I improve? I started working with an editor so that I can make sure that my writing is better. I try to be very. I have someone keeps trying to call, and I appreciate that, but I'm busy.
Well, speaking of busy, today's topic for our panel at 4 p.m. is going to be about making a good Kickstarter video. Do you want to come on and hang out at 4 p.m.?
Sure, I can do that.
I figured after all the things, we're about to do Kickstarter pause. I'm actually going to have to leave in like 3 minutes, unfortunately. So I can go do the Kickstarter pause so everyone can get their stuff out there and be seen, because that's important. And did you see that we're rebranding because, the time right now is not busy enough? I decided it was the time to implement a brand change to Indie Advocates.
Oh, wow. Okay. There you go.
Did you get to see any of that? I can tag you in some of it.
I don't know. I've been so busy working on getting things ready for fulfillment for the Kickstarter, and then working on people's covers, and then also working on Voodoo Nation's stuff, working on concept art and things like that. I have not really had a chance to.
Well, we're giving up the indie and we're going straight into comic book. And me and you have had this conversation before. Yeah. I feel like indie's almost become a line that people draw or people use. And I know what show I'm on, so I'm being careful here, but I do mean this. I think it's a cross people try to carry that they haven't earned and they don't get to carry. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. It does. Makes perfect sense.
Like, oh, look at me, I'm a poor indie creator. It's like, no, you're supposed to say that with energy. And you're never supposed to say it like you own something or someone, And it's made me frustrated. And me and Luke have talked about this. I love comics. That's why I do everything I do. It's all about comics. So I'm done trying to make everyone happy. And I'm just going to make the world happy by showcasing great comic books and forgetting about the lines these mythical lines that people have drawn. You know what I mean?
Yes. And it's about time. I mean, there's people that they want to wear the indie badge, and blame the industry. They want to, there's all kinds out there. But the truth is, if you work hard and you're cool to people, things will work out for you. That's what I've learned anyway.
Yeah. I mean, that's exactly it. You have to be. I don't know why we have to even say this, but I'm sure you say this a lot because of your profession. You have to be a good person.
Yeah.
You have to treat people how you want to be treated. I as an adult, I have trouble struggling with the fact that I have to say this to other adults.
Yeah. I mean, you would think that that you wouldn't have to at this point say that to people, but I think that's just it's just a sign of our culture that we're currently living in. It requires that you have to say the obvious to people that should already know it.
And it's sadly not. But what is happy is that you're getting more comments. Let's talk about them. Okay. Larry Patrick Higgins said word. I'm not sure what part of that refers to, but at one point you said something that he liked.
Well, I'm glad I said something somebody likes.
Assertive and not insulting is the way to be to critique. And I think Ted's got it right. That you have to be assertive. You have to be honest about your critique and explain it. What we're about to do in just minutes with Kickstarter pause. It's not about making people feel bad. We literally are going to have to. Actually, I should do that while I'm talking to you right now. We're removing something from a creator. So a creator was upset that when Camila was on last week, he got pretty much tore up a bit. And he got tore up because there were problems with his Kickstarter. Do you think that he made changes to the Kickstarter video, Luke?
No, probably not. Hopefully he did.
Nope. You know what he wants to have done? He wants to have us remove his video from the program today.
Oh, that's sad. So Ken Keller, Red Talon, the first time you saw it was when what was the special guest that you had? What was her name? Works for
Camila.
Camilla, yeah. So she was pretty harsh critique on that, but in a very loving way. And Ken's like, oh, I need to fix this. And so we're working on fixing his video instead of getting upset about it. We kind of laugh that, okay, we got to fix that crappy video.
And look, I host the show and I'm on the show, and 24 hours later I had a brand new video up.
Oh yeah.
So go back and look at it. She didn't go, oh, well, you invited me here, so I'm going to be nice to you. Nope. Bend over and cough. That's exactly what I got. And you know what? I needed that because it gave me a lot. I made the video so much better. And I had gotten people like, that's a good video. And when I shared it back out, Luke was one of the people I shared it back out with. I was like, how is it now? He's like, oh, that's so much better. Yeah. So I started at a point where a lot of people were like, I really like this. And then they said it was so much better. So she made me be better. And I don't understand that. That's the point of it. So I feel bad for the creator because they can't take the critique and realize. And it's sad because they said to me in the critique, in asking me to remove it, hey, I'm not doing well. So my answer is to get less publicity because I'm afraid people will say negative things about it. Isn't the fact that people aren't backing it what the people are saying?
Yeah. The whole point is to take what is going on and to make it better. And I find that creators that can take that criticism, even though it's uncomfortable, they tend to do better in their careers and their projects tend to do better. Like every time I send out issue number 1 of Hybrids, I know what everyone's going to say about it. I absolutely, without a doubt, know what all the problems are. But I've used all the critiques that I've gotten on that to make a better comic book and to make my art better. Most of the critiques were pacing and writing. It was the first script I'd ever written, so I knew it was like not going to be perfect. And then a lot of stuff on art. And so I've worked, I've gotten better.
And you have to do that. And I give it to you guys to get critique. And everyone asks me, oh, do you want the honest truth? My first answer is, I'm like, no, lie to me like I'm your girlfriend. Of course I want the truth.
Yeah.
It's just crazy.
Yeah, someone asked me, it's like, you want to review you want to look over the review I do before I post it? I said, nope. Just post it. Just give your honest opinion, and I'll read it. And if I think you're right, I'll try to adjust it. If I don't, then I'll just ignore you.
Right? All right, Luke. I got to jump out because I got to do the Kickstarter pause. I'll see you at 4.
Yeah, I'll be over there at 4, and I will send you a picture of this finished thing when I have it.
All right, very cool. I'm so excited to see it. Nicholas Anthony Tockett says, and I'm sorry if I'm saying that wrong, I am glad that folks are stepping away from labels and just focusing on great products. That's exactly what we're doing.
Yes, exactly.
Rick Bradley, so far this drawing looks awesome, Luke. Can't wait for my copy of CatDad and SuperMom. Thank you, Rick, for being a backer. You're awesome, dude. All right. Everyone, keep watching this. I'm going to go do the Kickstarter pause. You can watch that later in reruns. This is fascinating. I thought this would only run an hour. I would have, because I pushed Kickstarter pause from 1 to 2 to be here.
Yeah, I try to get it done in an hour, but it's usually this is the second time I've done it. It's usually 2 hours, but normally when I do something like this, it's a 2-hour draw. So
but I mean, beauty takes time, and you got the beauty going on, buddy.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it. Keep us posted on that CatDad and SuperMom Kickstarter. I'm ready. I'm ready to hear that it has hit $1,000. That's when I will be happy, when I hear that it's hit the grand mark.
When you hit it there, I mean, and I'll put it out there, I'm officially going to say it. Luke gets to do a cover because I want to have something me and him share. And if he wants to redo it for a different thing for a cover, I'm fine with that. But at 1,000, we'll be announcing that Luke gets to join the CatDad and SuperMom team.
Awesome. Yeah, let's do it.
All right, I'm out. I'll see you later.
All right, have a good one. Rick is saying, my girlfriend asked me what I was going to do when I get my first 1-star review. I told her I'm going to welcome it. Not everyone is going to like what I produce. That's right. And how I react will also depend on how they critique it. If they are constructive, then I'll listen. If they are just a butt, then I'll laugh. Yeah, absolutely. And hey, I want to invite someone. You guys got that link for the here. I'll share that link one more time. If someone wants to come on for the last bit of drawing of this and help me with my comments, I would appreciate it very much. I got to find where's my cursor at? There it is. I will welcome you in with open arms to help me do this. Well, here. Here you go. Someone wants to come in and join me with that link there. I will be happy to bring you in. You can help me follow the comments while I draw. Oh yeah, you got to work, man. You gotta work. I get that. I'm not exactly at work right now, but I get it. It's kind of work for me. Yep. Anyone feel free to jump in. It is there we go. We've got somebody. It's my buddy Nick. Welcome, Nick.
Hey, Luke.
How's it
Saw
going?
you needed some. Hey, it's going good. I was just working on the project, and I saw you needed some assistance, so I'm trying to set up where I can be useful.
Yeah.
You needed some assistance.
You'll want to turn your volume down on your device there.
I've been using my standard where I've got my phone running on one thing so I can. Okay, no. Wow. Okay, so I'm getting double.
Yeah, you'll have to turn the volume down on your phone.
Okay,
on whatever device you're watching on, that's what you'll have to do.
I think I'm good. It was giving a double feed for a second.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is a really great live thing. You should do it more often. I know people
Well,
love seeing it.
oh, I thanks. I plan on trying to do this every Wednesday. Draw something live.
When,
And I'm trying to figure out like what the right time for that should be. But last week I did it like 10 o'clock at night. Today I'm trying it at 1. I kind of like the idea of maybe doing it earlier in the day so more people can watch. It's on my YouTube channel and it's on my Facebook feed. So,
well, that's a great.
yep.
That is a great spread. Ted Davies says, "Hey Nick, let's see. I'm trying to catch back to from when okay. We've got Rick Bradley said if I wasn't at work, I would be all over it. So thanks for trying, Rick Bradley. And I work at an insurance company, so I'm on the phones. It's slow for me because I'm helping newbies, but I still have to be ready. LOL.
Yeah,
Well,
you do.
Anytime you're helping anybody new at anything, you're doing, really good because that's something a lot of people, everybody needs, but everybody likes to forget that they kind of got to pay back into that. At least in my humble opinion.
Absolutely.
We all start out somewhere, and no one starts out at the same level. I mean, your artwork's amazing. I actually saw somebody make a comment asking about what kind of tablet and what edition of Photoshop you were using, and I don't know if that got answered while I was fumbling through the tech of my lovely multiple systems here.
Yeah, we did answer that earlier, but I'll do it again. I'm using Photoshop and I'm using an XP Pen 15.6 Artist Pro tablet. So that is what I'm using there. If you like it, go check out XP Pen. They're pretty good. I might be trying out Clip Studio soon.
Oh, okay. That's a good program at least from what I've heard.
Yeah, I've heard it several times too. So I thought maybe I'll give it a shot.
I know for the poor people can't afford Photoshop, Krita is a good alternative. The UI is almost the same. It's just I find it's a little RAM hungry. So depending on what I'm doing, I use either Krita or I use that goofy Paint.net I actually got from Brian K. Morris's recommendation.
Yeah,
and
I'll be honest with you.
less.
Photoshop is kind of affordable now if you just do the subscription. You can do just the subscription for like $10 a month.
Really? So, I didn't know it'd come down that far.
Yeah, so it's really not bad. But I hear the Clip Studio is basically it's a one-shot buy, or you can do a monthly subscription to it, and so but it's significantly cheaper.
See, that's cool because I used to be a Paint Shop Pro guy. I loved Jask Paint Shop Pro, and they sort of got folded in and bought out by Photoshop. But let me see.
Now, you and I are working on a project.
Yes, we are. I wasn't sure how much of it I was supposed to talk, and I didn't want to step.
Feel free to talk about it while there's no comments.
Well, it's great. Rick Bradley literally just asked, "How's the RPG going?" Well, I'm really happy with it. We actually have the quick play. I'm just doing some final tweaks before the first part of the quick play is going to go through to Luke, and he looked at it 2 nights ago.
Yeah,
and it is a solid game. I'm not the kind of guy to beat my chest and boast over things, but it's a solid system.
It really is.
And I like the storyline. The bit Luke's letting me play in his world a little bit, so I'm really trying to stay true to the whole canon. But it's really nice to be able to dig out a little peninsula and here I kind of added this because I believe 25 years down the line we're all going to be at some convention sitting on a panel talking about how great Hybrids was when it just hit and broke open.
Oh,
that might be a silly vision, but
Well, I
You know?
hope that happens. I don't think it's silly.
That's just, you know, if you're going to dream, I've always believed if you're going to dream, you know, dream big, but, you know, live moderately. So,
Yeah.
you know, I'm every once in a while, it's like I'll wake up in the morning and I'm getting ready, like going through what I have to do. It's like I have to work on an RPG for, you know, a published comic. And I think back to like little kid Nick doing different things, you know, trying to help my friends settle once and for all which superhero would win in a fight, kind of thing.
Yeah.
You know, it's like let's try. Okay, you know, we're gonna do this. We're gonna put Green Arrow and Batman. We just got to figure this out, guys. You know,
yeah. You know, I think to myself, like I'm super fortunate because so most people on my channel know this, or on my Facebook know this, and even those on my YouTube know this, that I'm a full-time pastor. That's what I do. So I pastor this church called Bridges Community Church, and man, I'll tell you, I love it. These are some of the greatest people that I've ever met in my life, and they're amazing. It's amazing to be able to, you know, to kind of do ministry and live life with these people.
Right.
And then additionally, I get to draw comic books that people buy, you know, and like it's, and who knows where the whole comic thing will eventually take me, but I really can't ask for more. You know, God has been so good to me. He's blessed me so much. I've had the opportunity over the course of the last several weeks, especially talking with the Kickstarter and stuff, to be able to share faith with people, to talk about what's important to me. And then aside from that, you know, just to share comics and art with people, you know, it's just.
You have such an amazing and you know, Starcross and what you represent is such an amazingly rare thing, because you know, I haven't gotten really far notoriety, but I've been at this a long time. I've got about 16 years doing art and trying to publish things and figure out how it is under my belt. And a lot of times I've had to step back because what would happen is the business opportunity and my moral belief system would clash. You know,
That does happen quite a bit for people.
You know, I'd get offered, "Hey, draw this," and it's like either it's somebody else's property, which I don't do that because I've had people steal my work. So I don't do a lot of the fan art. I don't do a lot of the pushing that because it's still not mine. Even if I respect it, I don't try to do it in a way that I could even accidentally profit from. You know, it doesn't feel right.
Yeah.
But also subject matter I'm not comfortable with, you know? So it really stepped back, and then, you know, through Brian to bump into you and get this opportunity to be involved with something that's got a Christian background, and I'm trying to phrase it right, that isn't lame, is so.
Yeah, I tried to tell people, it's like, yeah, it's a lot of people think like, oh, it's a Christian comic, but you know, basically I like to tell people it is a comic book written from a Christian's worldview. You know, so I have the ability to talk about things from a particular perspective that doesn't get a lot of attention. But you know, I don't want it to be lame. You know,
No, and it isn't. It fundamentally isn't. I didn't mean to cut you off.
That's all right.
I just get excited because this is. It's like, because I've been telling people, yeah, I'm working on RPG and it's great and there's superheroes and you know all this is going on, and I associate with a lot of people of various backgrounds, various religions. I've always been that guy, you know. And they'll look at me funny, you know, because I'll say, yeah, I'm working on something for a Christian comic or a Christian comic company, and they're like expecting me to be all judgy or whatever, or they have these ideas, and it's like, no, guys, this isn't. Now, I love Veggie Tales, but that isn't what I'm working on, you know.
Yeah. And you know, I always tell people, it's like, you know, this is good for. It doesn't matter what your belief system is. This title will work for you. Will work for you.
Oh yeah,
it's just what it is. You know, it's just
from a total pulling the background out, just looking at the title for what it is. Just the first five comics. This arc, this world you're building. And granted, I am seeing it through the lens of hybrids is the foundation of this world in my mind. I don't know who else has done what. I'm just starting to explore more of Starcross's stuff, but just because of the way I've been exposed, hybrids is sort of the foundation from how I look at it. It's just it's a well written world. It's a world with limitless potential, and it has that because I got to watch a lot of they're talking indie comics. A lot, like I watched Top Cow hit. I watched Image kind of hit. A few other companies that didn't make it. But you could see the difference from the beginning stuff and see how good it is and how much it can improve versus the stuff that's going to begin and just not have any longevity. And I really think there's longevity in this. It has a classic feel. And I don't know if that makes sense, but
it does, yeah. And that's really what we're trying to do. Every time I write an issue, it's with the idea that this is going to be a building block for something a long way down the road. And I was talking with Rob a little bit ago about art and kind of getting better with the art style and all that kind of stuff. And someone asked me that well, have you thought about going back and redrawing issue 1 since you've gotten better? And I'm like, well, I don't want to take time away from the new issues. I want to tell more story. I don't want to go back and retell a story that's already been told just because I could probably do a better job of it now than what I did then. So it's,
I totally get that. Go on. Sorry.
Yeah, it's because I think that, this is going to be a long-term thing. It's like, let's get into the real meat and potatoes of everything instead of, going backwards and just trying to hack at that again. I'm trying to get this hand right. See, I'm not real happy with the hand, so it's a little too blocky for my likes. But
I understand.
Then I'm also going to try to get this shading right here because he needs to be darker.
I swear, hands are the bane of my existence. I actually have downloaded some new anatomy videos and stuff to try to improve that.
Yeah.
And
that's a real Kirby-esque hand. I guess I'm just going to leave it.
Well, you have a lot of Kirby you have a very, like, golden age keeps kind of rising up in your stuff in the background. And it's really neat to see, a golden age sensibility with, like, the modern coloring techniques, know? And I think that might add to why, especially for some of your more mature fans, it feels so iconic, because it doesn't feel like, there are a lot of guys who, later you can go look at how they draw and they went, oh, they were J. Scott Campbell guys. They were Mark Silvestri guys, You can see what they looked at. And you're pulling from, like, way back from the core of everybody and building up. It's foundational is just this concept I keep coming back to when I think about your world and your projects and kind of how I want to step in and it's very much slow and solid on everything at this level, and it's great.
That's high praise, man. That's high praise. I appreciate that.
Well, it's also incredibly well earned because you're building this in a way, because right now modern comics I think are just so gimmick thirsty. You look at what Marvel's doing, you look at DC, it's this you can look at it and go, it feels like, okay, this was focus grouped and then they went what's trending and we'll just feed this in to make it, and they've lost sight of maybe writing a good story. Despite the art, whatever you want to say, yay or nay about it, it feels like for a lot of for the big three at least, the story is being pushed back in terms of the marketability, and whereas you're just, I have a great story, and I've been privileged to see some of your notes that other people don't get to see, and our lengthy late night discussions.
Yeah.
And it's just, it's story driven, and that's what any media needs to be first. It needs to be a great story. You have to have that heroic journey. You have to have that sense of building where.
Oh, I think we lost you.
Oh, sorry. Let me check. Whew. My net seems to be good. Am I functional with you? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay, I'm sorry. The the cell tower behind my house that provides both my cell phone internet and my regular internet was damaged a while ago, and they were like, "It'll be 2 or 3 weeks, but your internet won't be reliable, and there's really nothing we can do about it." So it's like, okay. So I apologize if any point I duck out.
Oh, that's no problem.
But I'm not seeing any more commentary. Oh wait, see, I just got it back up. Let's see. We should put the variant art in the RPG, says Ted Davies. And I'm sorry about the delay. Yeah, I think it's funny he mentions that, because what do we have? 2 versions plotted already?
Yes.
And I'm a little nervous because my art is nowhere near your level. I love it and I have a distinct style, but I was like, I'm going to put the placeholder art, and there was some discussion that my version would be something limited edition people might get a hold of early, and that's both thrilling and terrifying. But then the more public version will have the people you have ties to making making a more polished product. I think is the best way to put it without
something a little more colorful, highly rendered, all that good stuff.
So yeah, but it's good. If we were to start playing this loved by my players, how would you feel about Okay, if I were to start playing that and my storyline is loved by my players, how would you feel about more comics done in the world? This is Rick Bradley, and what I'm thinking he's saying is, do you think you're going to take stories from either the RPG or that is canon, for lack of a better word, that I put out and put into the comics, or stuff that the players might do? Could that come back to you? So I think that's a good set.
Yeah, I think it could. I think it could, because I want to do. So I'm a big Star Wars fan, but Lucas has kind of owned that, and now Disney owns it, and it's not ours anymore. There for a while, it felt like Star Wars was the fans, and some of the fans still think it's theirs, and so they don't want to give any kind of room at all or whatever. And that's when you start getting to talk about some toxic fandom and stuff like that. But I would like to make hybrids one of those things where the fans get to contribute in the long haul with things, because I think that, and this is my opinion, I think it's an accurate opinion.
Yes.
But I think the fans make the IP and not the other way around. And you've got to have a good IP to start with, don't get me wrong, but really it's the fans' buy-in and their love for it that make it any good. See, this is not my IP that I'm drawing. This is Rob's, and I love it. And so I'm telling you guys to go back this thing right now, because you need to be a part of this project. And it's it's that fandom, it's that desire to to see that happen from a person who's not financially tied to it, in any way, to say, hey, I want this to succeed. And that's where I feel like where the fandom is, when it comes to things like hybrids. So yeah, absolutely. I would like to, anything that comes out of the RPG that's worth doing. There may be comics based on these adventures themselves. Some of these things that you do, it's like, well, let's just release, a comic that's a RPG edition,
Yeah.
or something like that.
That,
Or we could even have. Here's a good idea. We could have fans that play the RPG submit their notes or even their video of their game session, and if it was cool, maybe we do it in comic version.
See, I love that. I got two kind of pieces of this I want to weigh in before I get to Rick's next comment down the line. But one, the CatDad and SuperMom, with the background of supporting autistic children and being anti-bully, my profession before I kind of stepped back because of health reasons and to care for my autistic son was working with special needs people. I basically worked like 20 years with special needs people in the home, in the workplace, things like that. So seeing projects like this just kind of hits me right in the heart. And I'm really glad to see that it's being supported and that, this kind of material is out there. So I want to put that out first. Secondly, when I talk about how amazing to meet and work with somebody like you is, I've been, running for a few years now my big Stompy Robots game, and part of it is at when I run a tournament at Arcticon, I follow the main tournament, and then I use details of that to influence the world in the next book I write. And the fans, it's a small group, but they absolutely love it. Being able to pull in and be canon part of something is so cool. And I think that's where, like, Star Wars kind of, when it rebooted, a lot of fans felt betrayed because they'd been involved in the expanded universe. They'd been involved in all this. And then basically they were told, well, that didn't happen. We're telling the story a different way now.
Yeah. So, all those books, all the comics, all of the.
Oh, yeah.
And for the showrunner to be like, well, there's just not as much IP to draw from. There's not?
What? Yeah, it just, and what I think we were talking about it being, story driven versus focus group driven. A lot of the expanded universe was very literally, it was story driven. It was people asking, why did this character do this set of things? And that way of questioning why it happened to establish what happens next gives a sense of continuity. It makes sense. It keeps things feeling very real and alive. But Disney of late has become just this market-driven machine, and I think that approach of everything has to be focus grouped, everything has to be, working towards a set of, I don't want to say agendas, but we want this, this, and this, whether the story goes there or not.
Yeah.
And what you're building is the opposite.
Yeah. It has to be all, in my opinion, it needs to run because of the story goes there. You don't just do something because because you're trying to reach a particular market. And that's why I like to say it's like, Hybrids is one of those books where anybody could pick it up and read it. Whether you're a person like me that has, that has a Christian faith or not, you don't have to, you don't have to have that in order to be able to watch it and read it.
And it's great.
What'd you buy me?
I don't know. I'll have to find out.
Wow.
It's always fun. I just got a big package of looks like comics.
Ooh, comics are good.
Yeah.
I love comics.
Happy Wednesday.
Absolutely. Rick Bradley had said, because you're talking about how the story impacts, he said, I've read some Christian comics and it felt like a sermon that was rammed down my throat. Hybrids did not feel that way in the least. I loved it. Trashman had a bit of a revelation in the first few issues. It was great. And without spoilers, I totally agree. I love the way things, the way Trashman's perspective on things is being kind of challenged by life experience, you know.
Yeah.
I guess I have to go from.
Ooh.
I'll leave it here so you can review it.
All right, Donald Trump's sending me stuff in the mail now.
Well, as long as
That
it's a
is.
check.
As long as it's a check. Send me that check.
No, it says you received your stimulus payment.
It's a reminder saying that I received my stimulus payment. I think I can be happy with this hand. I think I just need a little more shading. But I think I can be happy with that hand. We are at 1 hour 30. So we are within that 2-hour time frame, and I think that I'm about done with this, dude.
It looks great. And it looks absolutely amazing.
Thank you.
And I love watching people do this kind of thing where you can see how they draw, and you know, there are thousands of little shortcuts and tricks people do that can't really be codified without just sitting watching them do it.
Yeah.
But
maybe a little more rendering here would be fine.
let me see. I have to keep. Oh, Luke, do you have a chicken? No. I don't think Luke has a chicken. You're probably hearing mine.
Yeah, I was wondering. I kept hearing a rooster going off. Yeah, so that is not my chicken.
No,
is that
people
going to ask?
For people who don't know, I have about 8 chickens right now, and one of them I raised from a chicken is spoiled and lives in a cage in my living room because I'm a sucker. And
well,
every once in a while he likes to wade into my videos. And let's see. So that's Travis Gibb. Ted Davies had to run. Says it's a great show. And Rick Bradley, my favorite Star Wars story was Knights of the Old Republic. Amazing game and one of the best stories ever.
I couldn't agree with you more on that one. Could not agree with you anymore. That is 100% true.
It is, and it's neat to see the difference between how to do a prequel system right versus maybe the prequel movies. If you compare the way Knights of the Old Republic was written and the depth versus maybe the approach it felt like during the the Phantom Menace arc.
Oh yeah.
It's radically different, but I mean, they're still both prequels of an established universe. It's interesting to see. And maybe they could get away with it because it was past a fixed point, where they didn't have to worry about crossing over too hard. But do you plan to do any like prequel establishing arcs in coming up in Hybrids?
Yes, but I'm probably going to work with other creative teams to do that, like other writers and stuff like that. Allow them to kind of submit ideas, and we work together to kind of build those things based on kind of where we are. At some point, Hybrids is going to get out of my hands because it's going to be further along than what I can manage. But yes. So yes.
See, I know I have a favorite character that I can't wait to really hear more about, and we've discussed it, so I don't want to do spoilers or anything. But
no, that's okay. What character's that?
But Danny, I want to hear more about Danny's background. I could just dig in that, but I'm a big fan of like the Monster Hunters International series and things like that. So I kind of have this devotion to the non-powered guy dealing with a super-powered world. That will always be an angle I adore, and I can't wait to hear more about how Danny became Danny and what role he's going to play in the future, because he's kind of got this subtle Obi-Wan vibe about him.
He does. Now, here's the thing. Danny's a real guy. A lot of people don't know this, but Danny is based off of a real character. His name in the game is in the comic is Danny Pierce, and his Danny Pierce is a real guy. And
That's cool.
yeah, Danny goes to my church. He was the chair of our operations team for a very long time, and he's just been I needed that kind of character that he is in the comic, and I went to him and I said, "Hey, do you mind if I put you in my comic book?" And he said, "Sure." And so, if you like Danny's a real guy. You can get to know him. Like, yeah, if you live in Jacksonville, just come to church when we start having church again. You can meet Danny. Danny is an awesome dude.
Wow. I'm sorry. I'm actually a little mind blown by that.
The only difference is real Danny does not have an eye patch. Yeah. I was like, what can make Danny any cooler than what he is? I'm like, oh, an eye patch would probably be cooler. Like, an eye patch makes everything cooler.
You're not wrong. You are not wrong.
All right. Well, let's take a look at this and see what we've got here. I'm feeling pretty good about it.
It's a great composition. It really is. Let me.
Thank you.
As soon as I lean in to look, I get a pop up in the middle of it.
Yeah.
That's great. I love the concept of the cowl with the beard sticking out.
Yeah. It's such a fun character. Let me show you again. Here's what the real CatDad and SuperMom look like. So I'll just pop that up here. So
See that
the real CatDad.
And that's what I love when a character can cross such a dramatic art style and still retain the sense of personality.
Yeah, there's SuperMom. So
that is really cool.
Yep, and then that's my version. So.
Well, I'm really glad because I just hopped on and found this.
Oh, it's okay. So apparently Debbie, Danny's wife, is watching, and she just texted me. She said, "You may not know this, but at one point, Danny had an eye patch." So yeah, you may not know, but Danny had an eye patch at one time when he had a thing, and so he had an eye patch for a minute. And when art mimics real life.
Oh god. This is finding out that Oliver Quinn lives a couple states away. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's so cool. It's surreal, but it is so cool because.
Yeah. I needed that kind of like guide by the side kind of character. Not so much the sage on the stage, but the guide by the side kind of character. And I was like, our guy Rev here, he needs a Danny. That's the only way he's going to get through all this is if he's got a Danny with him. So.
Oh, absolutely.
So yeah, so Danny made it into the comics. And this stuff here, this is going to be like a green fart material, because the Elefart, she uses it's like a Green Lantern type power with her flatulence.
Okay, that works.
I'm telling you, this book is so clever and funny. But yeah, so it's like basically, she can like make things with her flatulence, and it's pretty awesome. So.
Well, Rick Bradley says, "LOL, it was meant to be," and awesome. It was just now, so I'm thinking he's talking about the art style and what's being made, because that's just cool. But he might be talking about the awesomeness
of the eye patch.
Danny. Yeah, the eye patch. See, that's the thing. There's so much awesome going on in like the sphere of your influence. That how can you tack down a specific trait and say it's awesome? It's just like an area effect buff. I'm waiting to hear the little Lego guy. Everything is awesome. He come running across.
So what do we think? Do we think it's done?
I think it's incredibly solid. I don't know where. Let me see. I have to refresh to see if there's new commentary, and we're a minute or two without any. So I'm assuming everybody's agreeing and just asking.
What I meant. Yeah, okay.
Yep, the eye patch.
The eye patch.
Yep, the eye patch, but the drawing as well is amazing as well, though. Wow, listen to
Awesome.
my speech impediment fire up, folks.
I'll tell you what, words are hard, man. Words are hard.
Oh,
So.
oh, God.
Yeah, so well, I think this has been a pretty good. Something looks weird up there. Let me fix this. See, that's what I need to do. Sometimes I have to just step back and take a look at it.
Oh,
And
absolutely. Art,
weird.
writing, anything. You get too focused. See, I thought that was lighter to add depth, like it was fading off in the distance. I thought that's why that swirl of flatulence, which I never thought I'd say at 2:40 on a Wednesday afternoon. I'm critiquing a swirl of flatulence, but
well, welcome to my world. When you have to critique a swirl of flatulence, that's so yeah.
I mean, you could. The only thing I could think that could be done be thicken the line qual. Okay, where is it originating? I think I get where it's what might be throwing the eye off. I'm not sure where that swirl is starting from because most of it's sort of connected.
This right here.
The one that looks like it's
just shading.
Yeah.
Okay. It's just shading. Okay. But I need to make that more solid there.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I like to do a lot of I like to focus on line weights and stuff. That's something that I learned a long time ago in art class, not art school. So
I do admire that.
There we go.
I will say I feel kind of bad because I ran into the wall doing the RPG, and I needed to see the characters so that I could kind of keep writing for. Even though I'm not saying what each character is doing, I want to make sure there's a chance when I write up an RPG that every class can do something. There's going to be places where, like if you have a thief in a D&D party, you want to make sure there's at least one trap or something for a point where they could shine. So I found out, I'm looking at it, and I did, in the part I sent you with the art, all the line art that was black and white was done pretty much in one night. I just sat and I was cranking out like my version of a mental, like, this is a save point. This is just enough so I can look and I can go, okay, this guy looks like this. He's going to move like this. The equipment I'm thinking they have makes sense, and I don't think I had more fun than looking at zooming in and figuring out the Heck Trooper. I love your Heck Troopers. Disposable villains are great, and when they don't have a face, you can just crunch all you want. We'll make more Dorito them, and
they are a. See, look, a little signature in there. I like to hide my signatures in places.
Oh yeah, well done.
The Heck Trooper. Those dudes were designed to be kind of like a '90s homage with weird armor and pouches and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, the pouch belt made me just disturbedly happy because
the pouches around around the boots. It was just for fun. It was for fun. But
it's great, and there has to be that. You have to be having fun as an author. You have to have fun as an artist. You have to put these. I love Easter eggs. I love Easter eggs. I love subtle pop references. It makes it fun for to write it. And then it makes it fun for the reader to come back and go, wait, did he do, X, Y, and Z? And since it's weird because when I'm writing something for myself, I have to be hyper lined in. This is the only way it can be. By the time I hit publishing, I've reread it. There's no wiggle room. This is how it has to be. When I'm doing something in collaboration, I can go, here's a little bit more scattershot. Here's some ideas. and you pick which of these ideas you like better, because I'm not necessarily married to them, you know?
Well, dude, I
So it's a
think that
very
this quick
different
draw, I
kind
think that this
of
live draw is finished. What do you think? I think
Yeah, I
we
think
are.
so. I think you've got it.
think
I fell into the habit of chatting with you.
Yeah, I do that. Oh, you know what? I think I want to do a little of this stuff, like where I come back in with a different color, with the white, and just kind of offset some of that shadow.
Oh,
Yeah,
Oh,
I think that's what I want to do, because this is fun. This is kind of a technique that is not used often, but when it is, I think it's beautifully done. So it just kind of gives a little bit of an idea of some splash of color or light on the opposite side of that arm, like that.
mhm.
And so I'll do the same thing up here.
Now you mentioned art class, but you stepped away from art school. So how much of this is self-taught, or did you take?
I learned a lot of this in high school from a couple of art teachers, and then everything else is self-taught. There we go. That was all I needed to do. So
Yeah.
it is ready to go. This is the CatDad and SuperMom pinup cover, whatever. Let's try to get Rob up to $1,000 on that. I'm going to pull up his Kickstarter real fast, and we're going to talk about it.
Please do.
10 SuperMom. I'm just going to move this over here. Oh. Okay. So I'm going to stop sharing this screen for a second. And then I'm going to share. Come on. Share the screen. Come on, guy. Don't you just love live?
It's just taking up the space. It'll
Don't you just love it when it's live and it's not working?
Oh God. Have you seen any of my videos? Even when it's not live, it doesn't work.
All right. Why is that not doing its thing?
I really need to get a hand puppet for times like this that I can just bring up and be like,
Do we have anything fun to talk about while Luke tries to figure out streaming? Hey, there it goes. Hey-oh. Here we go. CatDad and SuperMom, the award-winning. Can you see the video?
Yes. Well, yes, it's running. And then it said click to exit full screen.
Can you hear it?
Faintly.
Awesome adventure, but people seem to love, and we can keep going that way. We can use words to try to get you to be excited and convinced to buy it, rather than see that one.
Can you hear it?
No, actually, I can hear people giggling in your background better than I can hear it, and I don't know if it's just not
linking. Then we'll just talk about it then. So he has got less than $400 to go to hit $1,000. Let's look at some of the things that you can get by supporting this campaign. First off, I have a selected pledge, and you can see this here. I'm doing the $50 pledge because I want all the peanuts and all the stickers. So it's a great thing to get involved in. But look, he's got things here for $1. Basically, you can't pledge on his thing without getting a little bit of something. So check that out. For $1, you get something, and then you get CatDad goes digital with $2, $3 you get Cat Dad and Jack's digital. And I'm telling you, these are some really reasonable ways to get in there and to back this. And so I know I got 3 people watching now, but hopefully someone will get to this again.
Well, I shared this. We're sharing it. I'm going to bounce it around some other places.
Cat Dad and SuperMom.
Yeah.
$10. Look, there's a lot of $10 options, a $20 option, 2 $20 options, a $25 option, the $50 option. And so definitely pick this up, guys. I mean, come on, go support Rob. He's backed 404 different projects. I'm like, this guy is serious about helping out people. And this is a great look. Here's the new cover. You crushed our first stretch goal. So here's amazing new cover. Here's a cover somebody did. Look at that. Isn't that nice?
That is great.
Nice. That's fun. I love it.
It is. It has that old Nickelodeon feel.
It really does.
I love it. But I'm a sucker for big bold lines. I really am. I've always been just.
Yeah. And so Rob says we hit 1,000. We're going to make this a Cat Dad and SuperMom variant cover. So let's do it.
Yeah, I want to see it.
And I'm going to color it or have someone color it. And so I'll post that when it's done. It won't be today because I have other things to do, but I carved out 2 hours for live draw. So we did that. Nick, I want to say thanks for coming in and helping read the comments with me today.
Hey, I'm so glad because I didn't know this was going on. I just happened to stumble by and.
Yeah, Rick says blame society for the screen not pulling up. That is, I blame society. It's society's fault. But yeah, thanks for everyone that stuck around and watched and came in here and there and checked it out. And for the 4 people that are still with us, thank you. I'm going to do this every week. So if someone wants to come in and help me manage the comments while I draw, I'm happy to have you guys. I appreciate Nick for you doing that and then talking about the game. Nick has been working really hard on this RPG. The quick play is going to go out to anyone who backed anything above the Test the Waters campaign. Test the Waters tier for the campaign. If you do want to get a hold of that quick play and you have not you did not back that and you want to get a super secret you want to get early access to that, Nick, are you willing to let people purchase that quick play?
Absolutely.
Okay. All right, so get a hold of me and $10 will get you a digital copy of it.
Awesome.
Okay, so
I'm just glad I want it out there. I want people to, because this is the kind of world you want to play around in. I'm not even. It isn't biased. This isn't. If you told me tomorrow, Nick, I love what you've done, but no, I'd still want people to play around in your world because this is just that good. And I've done
that. I think it's good. I think it's fun. I think people are going to enjoy it, and and we all need some ways to kind of break the monotony of things and escape some reality. And guess what? That sounds like
the
UPS.
dog agrees.
That sounds like UPS.
That's the dog saying that people should go out and buy it. I'm not going to argue with a dog.
Yeah, they absolutely should. So thank you all for watching today. I think next Tuesday is my birthday. I think I'm going to have a special art sale from some original stuff from Hybrids issues 1 through 4 available for sale. Really reasonable prices. Some kind of package deals where you buy 1 or 2 original art for a low price. And so we'll be selling those and sending those out because I kind of need to clear out my portfolio a little bit. And so I have some original art that I'll be selling. Some of the stuff will go as low as $30 or $40. So maybe we can start talking about that and sharing that with people. So, all right, well, I'm going to go ahead and we're going to close this down less than 2 hours. So better than the last live draw. It took me a little bit longer, but be looking for this cover in the future. All right. See you guys.